Meantime, Palantir shares, they're a bit lower this morning. This despite the company reporting better than expected third quarter results and raising its full year sales outlook. The stock now up more than, you ready for this, 150% this year. Our next guest has a new book out. It offers a rare inside view into the mind of Palantir's CEO, Alex Karp. I want to welcome New York Times Magazine writer Michael Steinberger. His new book is out today, Philosophy in the Valley, Alex Karp, Palantir, and the Rise of the Surveillance State. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We could talk about the earnings, but I'm actually more interested in the man himself, given the amount of time that you spent with him, and what you think the biggest takeaway of this entire project has been for you.
Well, listen, he's a very charismatic figure. You guys have him on quite often, and he is reliably unscripted. He speaks exactly what's on his mind. He's very provocative, very entertaining, and I was given extraordinary access to him. Once he decided to cooperate with the book, he was very generous with his time, spoke with disarming candor about a lot of issues, and I learned a lot about him. I would say one thing that people should know is the fear factor for him. Fear is a major motivator for him, and he biracial, Jewish, dyslexic, and he intuited at a pretty young age that he had some strikes against him as he saw it, and this gave him a sense of vulnerability that carried into adulthood. And I would say that one way of understanding Palantir is that it exists in some sense to make the world safer for Alex Karp. He takes their mission very personally, and his worldview, which is a kind of dystopian worldview that humanity is inclined to disorder and violence, is Palantir's worldview. And the sense of vulnerability is still a major factor in driving his decisions and driving the work of Palantir.
How, when you think about what this business becomes, I'm now asking you to look into a crystal ball, but, it's evolved in a huge way, even just over the past couple of years. Obviously, the company's famous for working with governments, but often now is working with businesses. If we were having this conversation 5 or 10 years from now, and I said Palantir to you, how do you think the world would think about that company? What would they think that company does?
Well, it's a great question. Obviously, the name is almost synonymous these days with surveillance, but that's just a small part of what it's involved with. And it's not a surveillance technology company per se. It just facilitates the work of law enforcement and intelligence services that do survey people. The commercial side of the business is huge. I will tell you what Karp thinks. A few years ago, we had a conversation, and he suggested to me that he thought that Palantir could become, to this era, what IBM had been in a previous era, in the 60s and 70s, when IBM's technology was kind of the backbone for a lot of what government did, a lot of what the military did, and for a lot of corporate America. And we had this conversation, and when we had this conversation, the stock was about $10 per share, and the company still hadn't turned a profit. And I suppressed the urge to express any skepticism because I didn't want to lose my access to him by ticking him off. He really did think it could become the next IBM. And here we are now, 3 years later. The stock is $200 per share. And it seems that Palantir has a very good chance of becoming the de facto backstop technology, the de facto operating system for the U.S. government.
Michael, we often talk about Elon Musk and the power and influence he has over the world because of what he's doing with SpaceX and obviously with Tesla, but mostly because of his ability to work with the government as it relates to something like a Starlink, and his ability to either turn on or turn off a certain country or in certain moments, and that gives a private citizen remarkable power. I'm curious how much power and influence you ultimately think that Alex Karp has in the context of Palantir. Does it have so much influence over these particular industries that it's in, or is there so much competition in this space that it's different?
Well, there doesn't seem to be a great deal of competition in this space. I mean, clearly, those who use Palantir, whether it's in industry or the government side, swear by it. They think it is a cut above what's available to them otherwise. How much influence does Karp, well, I would turn it around, maybe phrase it put it a little differently. I think one of the questions at this current moment, obviously they're very involved now with the work that ICE is doing. They're involved with the military, they're a huge defense contractor. And I think the question on the minds of a lot of people is, are there things that could happen over the next few years that would cause them to reconsider some of these relationships? Obviously not on the military side, but with something like ICE. I mean, they worked with ICE during the first Trump presidency, and Karp at the time expressed some misgivings about that contract, about he didn't agree with the policy then. He's changed his mind about it now, but I think it's fair to wonder, are there some red lines here where they might say we can't do this work for someone? They have turned down clients in the past. The U.S. government wanted them to provide their software to the Saudi government back in around 2012 because there was concern about that the Arab Spring was happening. There was concern about the stability of the Saudi regime, and they said no because they were concerned about Saudi Arabia's human rights record. So they have said no to clients in the past, and I think it's fair to wonder what lines might exist in Karp's mind now.
Hey, Michael, we've known Alex for a while, too. Not as well as you've gotten to know him, but, he seems pretty much what you see is what you get. He doesn't seem to edit himself super extensively.
That's what makes him must-see TV, doesn't it?
Right. But with success, sometimes people change. Did you notice that at all with him, or you think he's still the same person as when you started talking?
No, and that's a great question, and no, he hasn't changed. I mean, what you see now is what he was before. It's just he has many more people who want to hear from him now. But unscripted, I mean, he's done this his way. He's a very improbable figure to be leading this company. You think about it, he grew up in a staunchly left-wing household, no background in computer science or business, and he ends up running this company that provides software to the military, intelligence services, and now has turned it into this $500 billion colossus.
Right, studied content. It's like amazing through these things. We talk about Elon Musk, and we've been talking him in the context of this pay package as the key man. How much of a key man is Alex Karp for Palantir?
Well, he's obviously central to this company. I mean, this company reflects his personality, his persona, the things that keep him awake at night, things that scare him, to an uncanny degree. It really is sort of a representation of Karp's worldview in a way that, obviously, when founders are still running companies, companies reflect them to a great extent, but this is to an even greater degree than you would find otherwise. There is always the question, and Karp is in his late 50s now, there's always the question of succession. He's been at this for a very long time, and his schedule is crazy. I don't think he spends more than 2 nights in the same place ever.
I can imagine wanting to do something else, though.
None of us would sleep.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't want.
If we knew what Alex knows about 100 drones attacking a stadium football game. I mean, he's working on things where one pulse can knock out all 100 or whatever, however many it is. But if you really are face the facts of the things that people that wish us ill can do right now, none of us would sleep.
That is right. I mean, I think he feels that his worldview has been vindicated. The thesis behind Palantir has been vindicated.
Wish we could talk to him about it.
Michael, we want to thank you. The book is
Guess
called
what?
Philosopher in the Valley.
Yeah.
We appreciate you joining us. And as all of this has been happening, Michael, if you can believe it, literally as you've been on television, it just so happens that we found out that Alex Karp is going to join us somewhat impromptu this morning, given the earnings report last night.
Or to correct what I said,
8:40 Eastern
Man,
Time.
I'm listening to this guy. I need to come in and just nothing he said. Right, he's like that movie with Woody Allen with.
I'm going to get edited in real time here, huh?
Marshall McLuhan comes out from behind a pillar and says, "Nothing you're saying is correct about my view." Yeah. So Alex, it's Annie Hall.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And her sisters.
All right, folks, it is